Hey, peace with Christ, Pastor Josh here. We are entering in the season of Lent, and so for our Tuesday touch base, I thought I'd just answer this question: what is Lent? Lent is 40 days leading up to Easter. It starts on Ash Wednesday. It runs up until Easter. And so the way we get 40 days, by the way, if you're counting, is we don't count the Sundays. They're not technically part of Lent. But anyway, we as Christians, we as Lutherans, we celebrate this. And you might ask the question, why 40 days? Well, 40 days has a few connotations. One is Jesus was tempted in the wilderness for 40 days. He kind of had to deal with temptation. He had to deal with, well, a little bit of his humanity. And it's also the number of not days, but years that the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness, that they were there because of their mistakes. And so what we do during this time of Lent is we really, we wrestle with our humanity. We wrestle with our sin. We take a little bit of time to kind of contemplate, to kind of confess, to kind of just acknowledge how broken we are. And I think there's a big reason for that. And so story, my dad, when I was in high school, he really wanted to kind of help me run better. And at the start, when I was first running, I was kind of hesitant to let him help. I was kind of feeling good about myself. You know, my times were kind of consistently getting better, and I was starting to do pretty well just kind of naturally. And so I kind of pushed my dad aside, and I'm kind of like, Dad, you really don't know much about running, which was true. He didn't really run. That really wasn't his thing. He was a wrestler in high school, not a runner. And so like I kind of resisted his help. I said, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna do me. Until I think it was about my junior year, I kind of started struggling. I kind of hit a wall. My time had gotten to a certain place and it really wasn't getting better. And so I'd come back from meet after meet after meet and I'd kind of be defeated. I felt awful. I feel like I couldn't do what I knew I was possible, what I was capable of doing. And so it was in that moment kind of despair. It was in that moment of kind of my realization that my abilities weren't what I thought they were, that I was finally open to kind of his help, his coaching. And so what my dad did, he was great at kind of working the problems through with me, and I became a better runner because of my dad, who really didn't know anything about running. But what it took me to have kind of the lack of belief in my ability to allow someone else to speak into it. And I think a very similar thing happens in Christianity. And so I'm going to say it this way, kind of during this whole Lenten season, until God breaks you down of your belief and your ability to do good, you will never fully realize how good he is for you. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is this, that if we think we have it all together and all figured out, we're not going to need a savior. If we think we have our lives all under control, we're not going to need a Jesus. But it's in that brokenness and that time of weakness and that time when we don't think, when we think we don't have it figured out, that's when Jesus can come in and give us his grace and love, his mercy and forgiveness. And so I'll say it again, until God breaks down your belief in your ability to do good, you will never fully realize how good he is for you. But when we realize that we don't have it internally, we realize that grace that God has for us and what that means. And so that's really our hope during the season of Lent. So there's a lot of different ways that you can engage during the season of Lent. One is we have devotionals here at church that you can do at home. Another one is Ash Wednesday. So that kicks off this Wednesday. So that's tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a worship service, and I won't ruin the surprise, but it's going to be a little different, a little unusual, but I think really good. And so come to that Ash Wednesday service. That's on this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So be at that service. The other thing that you can do is just be there on Sundays. We're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be in the season of Lent. And then finally, every Wednesday, let me restart that. Every Wednesday, we're going to have Bible study. So again, this Wednesday, service. Next 5, we'll have Bible studies. So be here for those services, engage. And again, our goal this Lent is really this: until God breaks you down of your belief in your ability to do good, you will never fully realize how good God is for you. So you guys have a great day. God bless.